are you? It's been many moons since our last JPN TED tape. We have a lot of ground to cover. So how have you been? Great? Wonderful. As you see, I've come up in the world. I don't do puppet shows anymore. I got my very own movie company. Today I'm not here to talk about Santa Claus and stuff. I'm here to talk about the Easter Bunny. Do you know he gets as much as mail as Santa? Every year it's the same. Some kids ask for colored eggs, others for toy bunnies and candy. A lot of kids ask questions like, why do we color eggs at Easter? Where did the Easter Bunny come from? Why do you hide eggs? Who made the first chocolate bunny? The first stuffed toy? Why? Why? That's what you're wondering. Well, perhaps this story will help. See, I'm going to tell you a little story about the Easter Bunny. So you want to know about the Easter Bunny, huh? Well, I'll tell you. It all began many years ago, long ago, when two rabbits decided to start a business. They decided to start a successful egg business. And the rabbits all agreed. Anyway, the closest town was Miramon. They had to cross over a tall mountain called Horrible Mountain. See, that mountain was the home for the evil and terrible, the horrible, I hate to even say his name. That mountain was the home of the horrible monster. And all he did was terrify people. He usually showed up on holidays. If it was Christmas, he'd take all the kids' toys. If it was Halloween, he'd take their pumpkins. If it was somebody's birthday, well, he'd take the cake. Anyway, the rabbits knew it was the quickest way to get to the nearest town. Anyway, two rabbits were just on the way up the hill. It was Easter morning, 1 year after they decided to start their business. Anyway, they were getting over the mountain when suddenly, "Rah! I want them eggs, rabbit!" Anyway, the two rabbits just ran for their life. Anyway, they came to the gates of Miramon. Miramon was the most miserable, heartless, cruel, unfriendliest place in the world. Nobody laughed. Everybody dressed in black and pretty flowers were against the law. You see, Miramon was under the rule of King Jack. King Jack was the most evil, terrible king. He was so mean, nobody wanted to be around him. So he had to make his own servants. There was his horse, ran by steam, and Thelmon, the butler, ran by robotics. Also his army of soldiers, all lifeless, each operated by a motor. Why, even the mice were artificial. See, the only food in Miramon were beans. And everyone in Miramon hated beans. So they had to do something. Later in Bunnyville, rabbits had figured out an idea to get the eggs over Horrible Mountain. See, they colored the eggs, disguising them as stones. See, the two rabbits had no idea they were starting a tradition. Anyway, next Easter, they walked with the eggs over Horrible Mountain, and it was like, "Rah! You got any more eggs for me?" "Oh no, nothing but a bunch of colored stones to sell as paperweights." "Why would I want stones? I live on Big Rock! Get me eggs now!" No way, Jose." Anyway, the rabbits ran for their lives till they got to the gates of Miramon. And so they, "Halt! Who goes there?" Just us rabbits." Happy Easter. You must be alright. Go on in. Anyway, the peasants of Miramon were so happy with the Easter eggs. Hiding them came later. Don't get ahead of the story now. Anyway, when King Jack found out, rabbits, wait a moment. This is a real egg. I told the people that beans are the only food allowed. Away with you or I'll throw you in chains. Anyway, the rabbits were on the way out. Anyway, they had an idea. They would make a special Easter bean. The two rabbits kept their word. And for months they worked with Plasmon, the baker, and Sheldon, the other baker of Bunnyville, trying to make an Easter bean. Oh, they had many failures. Then finally, they had created jelly beans. World's first Easter jelly bean. Anyway, next Easter, it started for town with eggs and jelly beans. Anyway, the two rabbits suddenly found the horrible monster. Give me that! Give those back! And then the horrible monster threw the eggs over the mountain and they landed on the other side. All their hard work for nothing. Anyway, it's not a good idea to go empty-handed. When the two rabbits came to Miramon, the children were picking through the grass. They had found eggs, and the rabbits decided to hide the eggs. To the children, if those are Easter eggs, you must be the Easter bunnies. Nobody called us that before. Us, said the children. Well, anyway, the two rabbits, now known as the Easter bunnies, had to figure out a way to get past the horrible monster. So they had a meeting with all the rabbit tailors in town, and they worked all night long following their instructions. Anyway, the two rabbits, they went over the mountain, hoping they would run into the horrible monster. I'll get you! But, bright colors, terrible! The rabbits were dressed in bright colored outfits. And monsters hate bright colors. Those bright outfits were the first Easter outfits ever. And nobody ever saw that monster again. Last I heard of him, he was heading west. Anyway, that Easter, the peasants were having fun looking for the Easter eggs. And they thought those jelly beans were the greatest invention since the wheel. It was later in the afternoon when King Jack found out. What's this? More Easter eggs? I don't believe it! Those rabbits were the cause of them! Alarms! Alarms! Anyway, the two rabbits had got out just in time. Anyway, next day, all year long they had worked, making Easter eggs, jelly beans, new Easter outfits. They also had the candy rabbit make a secret weapon. Anyway, that next Easter Sunday, they had to take a whole army with them, carry the eggs and the jelly beans and the new Easter outfits and the secret weapons. Anyway, when they got the hillside of our town, rabbits rolled the eggs down the hill, knocking out the robotic guards. Now you know, to this day, why children roll eggs down the hill. And when the robot guards recovered, they saw hiding in the bushes some strange shadows. When they leaped on them, they found that instead of real rabbits, they were chocolate Easter rabbits. They didn't know what that was. The first chocolate Easter bunny. The Easter bunnies didn't have any trouble after that. Anyway, everybody everybody enjoyed the chocolate rabbits and the Easter bunnies and the Easter eggs. And when they got their new Easter outfits, they were so surprised and so happy that they went out into the main street, held the first Easter parade. And for the children, the two rabbits had toy animals. It was the world's first stuffed Easter toys. But anyway, they got on time. Anyway, mean old King Jack, he had a plan. The Easter Bunny must not come to town next year. Anyway, all the rabbits worked night and day when the Easter Bunnies would come to town. What they didn't know that there were some dirty tricks. Anyway, there was so much to carry, they couldn't possibly carry it all. Anyway, two rabbits had an idea. There was a little railroad that went through Miramon. They could hire a train to take Easter candy. When they got to the train yard, all the engines thought they were too important for Easter eggs, and jelly beans, and chocolate rabbits, and toy animals. Oh, but it's a very important job, said one rabbit. Important? I'm the 20th Century Limited. I'm the Silver Chief, and I live at Carlton, Newcastle. Don't bother us. Anyway, the two rabbits had just about given up, and suddenly there was a brand new engine in the train yard. If I hire you, it would be my if I hire you to be my new engine, you work hard, the engine said. I'm not strong enough. I'm one of the newer engines. I don't even know if I'm strong enough to pull quite a load. Well, you can do it. Well, anyway, the new engine was all polished up and decorated. Bright early Easter morning, he reported to work. It's quite a job for one little engine. He promised he would try hard. Anyway, King Jack was hiding in the rocks, playing something really nasty. Anyway, the train had soon left Bunnyville, was on its way over a horrible mountain. Quick! Where the road the track begins to climb. Spread that axle grease all over the rails. It'll stop slipping its wheels and be here all day. And sure enough, the engine did slip. We'll need traction. These'll do. These jelly beans will serve as traction. And poured jelly beans all over the rails. Anyway, the train succeeded. Now what do we do? Said King Jack. Get lots of salt, said his robot. Salt? For what? For all them Easter eggs we're gonna get to eat. I'm ruined! Yelled King Jack. So loud it shattered the trees. King Jack was finally beaten. And this was the best Easter ever. Kids and old folks and Easter eggs and jelly beans and new Easter outfits and every kind of Eastery thing you could possibly imagine. As a special surprise, there was a special ham dinner, and the people of Miramon ate it. King Jack was banished forever from Miramon because he was, well, evil, and everybody lived happily ever after. The end. So now you know the story of the Easter Bunny. This is your storyteller, Ted Harris, wishing you a very happy Easter. Happy Easter, everybody. Toodles! I'm Ted Harris. Anyway, this is the millennium, and this is the biggest thing in the history of mankind. Mankind should have some meaning for us today. We can't be consumed by our petty differences anymore. Perhaps this is fitting that this is the year 2000, the new millennium, the official start of the future. And once again, we'll be having our freedom. Not from tyranny, violence, or oppression, but from annihilation. And should we win the day, the millennium will no longer be known as a holiday of 1 year. We will not vanish into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. We're going to live on. We're going to survive. This is the millennium. Acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind. Should old acquaintance be forgot and days of old lang syne? For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for old lang syne.
America, planes beyond, how's it going? This is the JP and 10 Fat Weather Report, here to tell you about the great facts of the world. Okay, here in Stockholm, they're going crazy for snowboarding. Okay, and here in Baltimore, Maryland, they're going crazy for Connor. You gotta love it.
Right here in Mongolia, which is right here, they're going crazy for
Sailor Moon. You gotta love it.
and here in Shanghai, they're going crazy for
Battle Angel. Can you believe it? Okay.
and here in Toronto, Canada, they're going crazy for
Zombie awareness.
and here in Denver, Colorado, they're going crazy for
Rocky Horror.
right here in Paris, France, they're going crazy for
Who wants to be a millionaire? Can you believe it?
and in Honolulu, Hawaii, which is right here somewhere, they're going crazy for
Surfing. Tandem surfing.
also right here in Egypt, they're going crazy for
Richard's Scary Stories.
all right. That's the JP and 10 Fab Weather Report. So if you should see weather in your area, send that to me, right to Cool Guy with a Map, 950 Manchester Avenue, Media, Pennsylvania, 19065.
Okay.
Here we are at Ridley Creek State Park. This is the waterfall at Ridley Creek State Park. This is Ridley Creek. This creek really needs to be cleaned up. And this is the waterfall at Ridley